At the beginning of episode 12, we see Lee Gun, Lee Sun, and Kanjo sitting together. Lee Gun says to Kanjo, "You must know this. I don't have to tell you." Kanjo replies, "Yes, I know player Listen very well. That's why Listen says, who doesn't know me? I am so famous. It's nice to meet you." From his words, Kanju understands that Lee Sun doesn't want Lee Gun to know that they both already know each other. Listen says, "This is Kanju, the temporary doctor of our agency, and she is my first love who saved me from drowning in my childhood, which means she is my lifesaver." Also hearing all this, Listen says, "What a dangerous connection you two have again between doctor and patient." We meet Kanju, who is feeling quite uncomfortable, so she says, "I will bring something to drink," but Ligon stops her by holding her hand and says, "The beer is kept here. You don't need to go anywhere." Kanju. He opens the beer with his hands and gives it to Kanju to drink. Seeing all this, Listen does not like it, so he says, "I have a medical test tomorrow, so I cannot drink it. I should leave now, otherwise Mom will get very angry." Then he asks Kanju if she is not going to go home. Kyungju is going to stay here, but thinking it would not be right to tell this to Listen, she says, "Yes, my work is finished." Then she leaves for home with Listen. We come to know that Lee Gun had gone to buy a charger for Kanju because she hasn't charged her phone yet. While Kyungju tells Listen, "If I had known that you were also coming to meet Lee Gun, I would have come along with you. I didn't tell because it hasn't been decided yet that I will be the team doctor. I want to become the team doctor of his agency because the experiment may have some side effects. That's why I have to stay with him for 3 months and monitor his condition. I have to observe and do all this without her knowing. I was in charge of the experiment, so I will have to take responsibility till the experiment is completed." So Listen says, "Do you do this with all your subjects?" "You are right, but why do I feel like this?" Kanju says, "You are wrong. Even if I was not Ligon's first love, I would have done the same." Listen says, "So it seems that even bad memories get hidden when good memories are present at the same time. All the bad memories of my brother have been erased, but he fell in the river. He still remembers because he met you at that time. That means it was a good memory. Is this called the power of love?" Kanju doesn't answer anything, just keeps listening. Listen says, "Okay, I will drop you home," but Kanju refuses and says, "I will go myself. Tomorrow is your therapy session. I will meet you tomorrow in the hospital." Listen says, "Okay," and leaves. Kanju says to herself, "Why was his face like that? I didn't tell him anything. Was it because of this that he was angry? I came out because I don't want to put Listen in trouble, but I can't go home because I have a lot of work to do, but all my stuff is in Ligon's office, so what should I do now?" Then we see Ligon, who has come to take a bath. He remembers the conversation that happened between him and Dr. Tai. Dr. Tai had asked, "Are you sure that Kyungju is your first love? You used to come to the hospital and met each other many times, but you both did not know each other. But when you woke up after the surgery, you said that she is your first love. Doesn't it seem strange to you?" Ligon had said, "I remember everything well, so ask Kanju about the rest," and also apologized to her nicely. Ligon says in his mind, "I remember everything well. So why does everyone keep saying this?" After taking a bath, he comes naked to drink water from the fridge. Then he notices that Kanju has returned, which shocks him. He quickly moves the door of the fridge and hides himself from Kanju's attention. She notices that Lee Gun has come to get water from the fridge, but does not look at him. Kanju says, "I came back because I have a lot of work to do and also think about how to win the bet with you." So Ligon says, "You can do whatever you want," but Chas doesn't like them. Kanju says, "Are you scared of being my team doctor?" Ligon says, "It is not, so I just feel uncomfortable with you because you are with me in my office." Enju says, "You are staying. You yourself said that you don't like me anymore, which means I am going to work as your feelingless team doctor, so what is there to be uncomfortable with in this?" Lee Gun somehow manages to reach his room. Kanju sees the charger there and says, "I was looking for this charger. Have you bought it for me?" When Ligon doesn't respond, she goes to his room and finds him sitting wearing a cup and the same thing again. When she asks about it, Ligon says, "You are thinking too much. I have not bought that charger. I don't know where it came from." Kanju says, "What nonsense are you talking? If you live here, then what if you did not bring it? Did a ghost bring it when I had kept it?" Then Ligon says, "Yes, it is possible, but I did not bring it. If you have any proof that I have brought the charger, then I will hire you right now." Hearing his words, Kanju says in her mind how much drama he is playing. This Listen says, "By the way, I am going to watch the footage of Chasen's game. So would you like to watch it together?" Kanju says yes, because she also wants to know how Chasen plays. When Listen reaches home, her mom says, "Have you heard Mr. Hong? Lee's son had told me a long time ago that you were going home, but why did you take so long to come, and why were you not picking up your phone?" Lee's son would have come after drinking. He says, "I had gone to meet Lagan, so I forgot to call." Listen's mom says, "You have come drunk knowing that you have a medical test tomorrow. Is your mind fine?" His dad tries to save him and says, "If he will not drink at this age, then when will he do it?" It is not a big deal. His mom gets angry and shuts them down. Her mother says to him, "Do you want to live a normal life? If so, then leave tennis. How can you be so irresponsible? Are you the only one making sacrifices? Don't you know that the whole family is making sacrifices to support you? I was so busy taking care of you that I didn't pay any attention to your brother. Don't you ever feel sorry for me and your brother?" Hearing all this makes Listen very sad. He feels bad but controls himself and sits on his knees in front of his mom and says in a funny way, "Maharani Sahib, I have committed a big crime. Please give me a death sentence for that crime." His dad shuts his mouth and they bring him to his room. Listen says, "Now I have finally come close to my brother, so I am just trying to enjoy it." His dad says, "This is a very good thing, enjoy it well." Then they say goodnight to her and go away. Looking at Listen's face, we can see that she is very sad. Meanwhile, Listen and Kyung-ju are sitting together watching the footage of Chasen, but Kyung-ju is not understanding anything special. She starts asking, "How did this happen? What is this? What does this mean?" And while asking, she comes very close to Ligon. Lee Gun goes to get snacks and their hands touch. Kanju says, "What is this? You are so close to me. Why are you sitting here?" Then Ligon says, "Just look at which side of the sofa is empty." Kanju had gone to real life, so she quickly moves back. The next day, Ligon is cooking meat to eat, and Kajo also comes to eat, but Ligon does not let her. He says eating together creates bonding, and if you get attached to the food prepared by me, then it is not a good thing. That's why we will not eat together. Then Kanjo says, "Can you eat all this alone? If you just eat it and give it to me, what will happen?" Ligon says, "Look, if by eating together I start liking you again, that's why I don't want to take any risk. When I checked the fridge, there was salad in it, which you can have for breakfast." In the next scene, we see Sayan. She calls her dad and says, "Dad, please forgive me because I forgot to tell you that I am in Korea. I am going to stay here for some time because I have to visit a lot of places. When I am done traveling, I will come back, so please get my credit card activated." But her dad does not agree. Sayan says, "You never let me do any work, and because of that, I do not have even a little money. How will I stay here without money?" Her dad says, "You went there yourself, so take care of your expenses yourself," and disconnects the call. Sayan does not have any money, and because of this she gets very upset. Sayan has to go somewhere, but she can't afford a taxi, which makes her start to lose her mind. Then she notices Listen, who is sitting in her car. Listen's mom calls and asks where she is. But Listen says, "I am training, the trainer is calling me. That's why I am cutting the call." Ligon is currently in Kanju's neighborhood. He has come to see Kanju's face before going for his training. That's when he notices Sayan sitting next to him, which shocks him. He asks, "What are you doing here?" and tells her to get out of the car. Sayan says, "It looks like you are in a bad mood, so let's go somewhere together. I will make your mood better." Listen says, "If I stay with you and your dad finds out, I will get into trouble again. We both met that day. Someone took our photos and sent them to me. Now it seems that your dad had sent it as a warning." Lissy had told her mom that Sayan had overheard this, so she blackmails Listen. If he does not take her to where she needs to go, she will go and tell his mom right now that Listen has not gone for training. Sayan already knows the address of Listen's house. Listen does not want his mom to get angry and upset at him again, so he agrees to Sayan and starts driving the car. Sayan starts giving him directions. Then we see Kanju, who is in the hospital waiting for Listen because today Listen is supposed to come to the hospital for a therapy session. It's time for the session, but he has not come yet. Kanju calls him, but he does not pick up the phone. Ligon and Chasen also come to the hospital for Chasen's medical test. Ligon explains to Chasen that he wants Kanju more. Chasen says, "Don't bother. Why do I feel like you're trying to protect her? Are you two dating?" Ligon says, "You give a damn about anything. It's not like that. If you're on the team and don't want a doctor, then it's okay. Forget him. There is no need to listen to me. Do whatever you feel like doing." Kyung-jo comes to both of them and Chasi starts talking to her and tries to be friendly with her, but Chasen tells her not to. She rudely talks to her and goes to get her test done. This makes Ligon laugh. He says, you have time only till tomorrow. You will convince him otherwise. Kanju says, I will do the off course, and after signing the contract with me, Ligon says, you should also be ready. Let's see what you can do in a day. And this episode ends here. So guys, how did you like this episode? Please tell me by commenting. If you liked my explanation, then please like the video and subscribe to the channel to watch F.